And we got time for one more story. What's the last one?
Yeah, so we actually have a new lawsuit against the city of Boston. We've covered Boston being sued by gun rights groups in the past, and they're back again because they're alleging that the city's police department, their licensing unit in particular, is sort of slow walking its processing of applications for carry permits. This is, a pretty common thing we've seen in a lot of big cities lately, and certainly Boston's no exception. A few of the plaintiffs in this case, have at least two of them have alleged that they've been waiting for longer than 6 months to even hear back about when they can do their fingerprinting and complete the process, when Massachusetts state law gives these licensing authorities 40 days to process an application and arrive at a decision. So clearly there is some delay, whether or not it's intentional. That's sort of what's being alleged in the lawsuit, but that'll be for the courts to flesh out.
Yeah, but I think we can all make an educated guess on that point, right?
Right.
Especially since they did this before, right? This is not the first time they've been sued over this exact practice of slow walking applications. You've seen this in other places. Philadelphia is a common example where they tried tricks like this. And oftentimes many places have that sort of some sort of time limit that the state puts on how long it takes, but oftentimes there's no sort of teeth to that.
Right.
And so localities will just kind of ignore it, and they'll come up with, workarounds. We got 40 days to process. Well, all right, we'll just make you wait to actually submit the application. Philly did that for a while.
Right.
DC does that. And so, but in the end, they've had very little success, these cities, in standing up to lawsuits like this. And in fact, Boston has had to pay out legal fees in the past over this exact issue. And so I don't see any reason why it wouldn't end up the same way. And at some point, it feels like it's just a roundabout way of donating to gun rights groups, because they end up having to pay them regardless. So I guess maybe it plays politically for the elected officials in Boston, but it just seems a bit odd when you zoom out a little bit and look at the whole situation. Right.
Yeah. No, it sort of goes to this ongoing trend of formerly May issue states that were sort of had their carry paradigms overturned by Bruin, that are finding new ways to perhaps resist the new paradigm that we find ourselves in. As you pointed out, Boston previously refused to accept applications. They shut down their licensing unit during COVID and then kept it shut down for, what the courts found was unreasonably long time. And so they had to pay gun rights groups, and now they're accepting applications, but they're not processing them. So it's just going to be, like you said, just like Philadelphia, it's probably going to end up with a settlement or an order, and gun rights groups are probably going to collect some legal fees when it's all said and done.